Yo, what's up, guys? It's the Insane Game Freak here. This video is actually pretty late because it's supposed to be a Valentine's Day video, but it's the 15th when I'm recording this, and that's when I'm recording it. I don't even know when the fuck this is going up. It should go up on the 15th or the 16th, but you know, life, it's weird sometimes. Also, we have jobs and responsibilities, and we are adults while talking about animated characters getting together. Anywho, the topic
Isn't that the
what?
isn't that the definition of adulthood? Okay,
I think
I'll
that's.
stop.
I put it this way: it's debatable depending on who you're talking to. Some real adults would be like, "You guys need to drop this kiddie shit. The fuck are you doing looking at cartoons made for 10-year-olds?" And some people would tell you, "You're only as old as you choose to be. You can be fucking 65 and have the heart of a 20-year-old, and that's the kind of
Yep.
life you want to live. It all depends on the individual." Welcome to the Psychologically podcast. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Anywho, today this is Valentine's Day theme, so I'm still gonna put it out here. We're talking about the art of shipping, but even though I indulge in like the most base form of shipping. Like if I'm watching a show and I like two characters and I want them to get together, that's usually the basics of my shipping. So I didn't feel comfortable enough come up in here and putting out a video on this. So I have the professor with me to teach me the ways of top tier shipping, because there's levels to this shit and we're only at level 1. Hopefully by the end of this podcast you were prepared to be going to like level 20 and 65. It depends on how deep you're willing to get into this shit. Polly, hi, how you doing, man?
Hello and hello everybody. I feel like we should insert that quote that Brock was. There's an episode where it actually has to do all about love. I'm gonna go off on a tangent here.
That's fine. I
And Brock is like, would you like the master to show you how it's done?
Oh, which doesn't make sense coming from him because he doesn't get girls most of the time. He only it's like he has like I think there's like a handful of girls he actually gets. And it's always that one-off episode shit because, you know, episodic episodes and no one wants to bring in continuity when it comes to Brock and his relationship adventures.
Except me, who can list it on a timeline of
Let's be
when every.
listen, I have
Yeah.
never seen a rock gym leader surrounded by so many water types when going on your profile sometimes. It's like there's a poly roll next to him even when there's no reason. He's weak to those poly. How is he supposed what do you expect to happen? You
Polyworld's coming back.
Oh no, oh no, oh no.
No,
Anywho,
I've noticed I've paid attention to the scenes where he like talks about Misty's Poliwhirl or Polytoad.
oh my goodness. This is some shit, Volley. But I appreciate the shit because it's entertaining for the people. So, the way I guess I want to start this is, have you always been this hardcore into shipping? And I guess we'll use Pokemon as the main example because even though I know you have other shipping loves, based off of
Um,
various media you enjoy, or other shows or things you were reading previously.
AKA,
We don't
yeah.
listen. If you don't want to get into it, that's fine. It works out either way because anime is anime, so it works out. They're both animated things, but that's besides the point. So, have you always been this into shipping to the degree you are now, or has it been like a gradual thing?
Um, I've kind of always, not that it's like the one thing that I focus on, because obviously like especially with Pokemon, like I like the humor and the slice of life aspect and the battles and the story and stuff. But I will say that it is that shipping is kind of admittedly, like I don't really know why, but like I guess when I was younger, like I always found like episodes where like characters like fall in love or have crushes or like were subject to like some kind of love potion. And I don't really know why. Like it's just I guess I just found it funny and amusing. Maybe just kind of like deviant of how like the characters usually interact, especially if they're characters that are like usually angry or like closed off. And then they fall in love and like all these crazy shenanigans ensue. So I guess like growing up, I kind of always found that like an entertaining trope, I guess. I think there's like a lot of psychology that goes into um, liking shipping too. I mean, whether like no matter where you are, like on the spectrum, if you know if you're single or not, like I guess it is part of life. I guess relationships, whether they are platonic or romantic.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean, I'm not gonna say I live vicariously through my ships.
It sounds like you do, though, to some degree. I mean,
To some degree.
to be fair, I mean, and look, and the guess way my closest relation to it is some of the waifu bullshit I post on my Twitter because I'm trash like that, and a lot of guys do that too. It's almost in the same tier, except that like you guys, it's more of a dedicated. You like the idea of this character being with this character, whereas like for us, at least for me, my level 1 tier ass, uh, just being like I post pictures of Nico Robin from One Piece because I fucking love her character and she's adorable and she's wifey material.
Hmm.
For you guys, it's like a full on relationship, and as of recently, I've seen the OC babies. So like,
Oh yes, the
I
fanfics.
know the different tiers. I guess another thing we can get into is like, does that is that I'm trying how to put this. Is that a correlation with like you being maybe a fan of like romance movies? Or like does like is your interest in ships correlate with the idea that you're really into romance in general, or
Hmm.
no?
Um, I'd say I do. I think it's like different for everyone. Like some people, um, like I guess it's because I'm somebody that focuses a lot on people. Like I'm honestly surprised I didn't go into like psychology or um like counseling or anything like that because like I don't know, I think just people like I find them interesting. I like their their doubts or their hurts or their relationships with others or their ambitions. Like I just like I'm the type of person that just likes sitting down with a person. Like we could talk for hours, and like I like getting to know a lot of people. And I also was like a fan of like character creation growing up. Like I would sit and draw in my sketchbook and I would um like draw like or sketch out like different personalities for like my characters and like write stories and stuff. So I guess when it comes to like consuming media, I guess that's like a big thing I focus on, just like dynamics between different characters, just because simply I'm interested in that. Um, I don't really know if there's like a deeper meaning, I guess. I guess everybody's just kind of like what I was saying before into different like aspects when it comes to like watching movies or playing games or watching TV shows. Like some people are in it for the story and the plot, and some people are in it for the characters. Then there's the Filippos of the world who are in it for the music. Or
Oh Lord.
that's going into shout out to Filippo.
We're getting shout
But
outs on here. I see how we're doing it.
I don't know. Um, hmm.
I mean, I get the general idea because I mean, it's kind of like because for example, like people who tend to like more character driven stories tend to be I've noticed or tend more to be into ships for because their characters mesh well together. But then you have people who are into the like for example, I'm trying to think of a good hand cannon I have for certain shows. Damn it, nothing's coming to mind. I haven't shipped. No, I haven't traditionally shipped in like I haven't like when I haven't set time to focus out on shipping. But the point I'm making is like for example, two characters get together because you think their personality meshes. Oh, I'll give you one: Naruto and Hinata from Naruto. I've always liked this ship, and
Mhm.
when the manga was still going on and we didn't know who was going to end up with who, a lot of the fan base was having this little side conversation because we kind of cared because we were like, oh, is he going to end up with Sakura or Hinata? And for me, I was always a Naruhina fan because I think Hinata complements Naruto, and it was always like for me, it's like for me, I always like that character balance. Like if a character's loud and rowdy, I don't necessarily want their significant other to be loud and rowdy because I think it's too much of the
Mhm.
same thing. I like to be you check me on shit that I don't check you on, and vice versa.
Yes. I think that's what people like find interesting sometimes because it's like, and I'll get into this with Pokemon, but why shipping is so prevalent in Pokemon. But I think, yeah, in general, it's like it is interesting because like you don't want to watch a show where it's just like the main character by him or herself going on a journey and never interacting with anybody. I think humans like we crave interactions, and like some people crave more interaction than others. Some are more reserved. Some love being the center of attention and love having a lot of friends and socializing. So like everybody's different in that aspect, but I think it just is a normal part of life that humans are, it's inevitable that you have to interact with people and you have different relationships, whether it's again romantic, friendship, familial, or even your coworkers. So um, like I guess when it comes to like certain character dynamics, I guess like people have different preferences. Like for example, like with what you were saying, like you like that whole you check me, I'll check you thing. Like I have different personality tropes that I like when it comes to relationships too. And I think Pokemon is very like it's so easy to ship in Pokemon because
There's so many
first of all,
characters.
yeah, you have companions that travel together. You have protagonists and then their rivals. You have villains. Um, some who are partners, some who
You
are
want to be a little
subordinate.
bit ones you have want to be a little bit more than just partners.
Yes, aka my biggest ship. But anyway, I guess it all depends on like what kind of dynamic you like, and you know, I mean, and it's also like a natural thing where it's you have your favorite character and then you focus on whoever they're closest with. Like um like with Burgundy, obviously, like I ship her with a lot of the Best Wishes characters because she hangs around them a lot. Not saying that she can never like I can't see her ending up with a random person or like a character from one of the other generations, but um, I guess it's natural that when you see, I guess for somebody like me who likes these character dynamics, it's natural that I would maybe ship them or just kind of focus on those friendships.
Well, yeah, because I guess it gets into the question of how is a fandom of a ship born, and it's usually due to the interactions those two characters have. Like that's the reason why you don't get a lot of cross gen shipping because you don't have a lot of interactions. Like you gotta like those two characters a lot to want the cross gen shipping. Not saying it doesn't exist, and not saying there isn't an interest in cross gen shipping. I'm just saying like for example, I think one of the cuter ships is a side ship. I will say I have a few in Pokemon. I don't notice until I start thinking about it. I really like the idea of Annabelle and Ash, only because I thought that
Hmm.
episode was cute. But that's like, but that's there's not a lot to go off of there. But they've interacted. I even like the idea of Brock and Lucy
Hmm.
because I like the idea of having kind of an like every most of the girls that Brock hits on either don't pay him any attention or don't take him seriously. And Lucy's like the only one who like genuinely took him seriously the whole time. And
Hmm.
it's kind of cute because it shows a different side of Lucy who's known to be like this fucking mean ass chick or like overly serious frontier brain, and then Brock who's not used to a girl like positively responding to his advances. Like it creates an interesting character dynamic that you're not used to seeing, and you tend to want to see more of it. Hence, at least in my mind, I think that in some cases that's how certain ships are born. It's like I don't know. I didn't.
Hmm.
It's like I didn't know I like this idea of of my character of choice acting a certain way until he was presented with a character who forced him to act in a different way. I want to see more of
Hmm.
that. Where's the fan art? Damn it!
I think it depends on two factors, and this is something I've seen for years. Either with my friends or others who I used to interact with a lot, and especially on Tumblr too. where shipping was like really huge, or even fan fiction, which, you know, I'll leave others to judge me
R.I.P.
for that.
R.I.P. to Tumblr, because let's be real here. If the worst thing you were messing with was just fan fiction, you hadn't seen half of the shit that we used to be on Tumblr. Because my
Oh
God,
gosh, yeah.
lewds were rampant and people's hearts were weak, and some men learned a lot from the internet and not from proper channels. So that's all I'll
Yeah.
say about that.
So I think it depends on, like, with what you were saying with, like, it's like, well, why isn't this is cute? Why doesn't it have fan art? I think it depends on, number one, how much exposure it got in. Well, let's just use Pokemon. So how much exposure X, Y, or Z ship got in the anime. So for example, I think contest shipping is May and Drew is probably the most popular, because I think it had the most they had the most I mean, I don't want to say hints because like not everybody ships it, but it is pretty, like, there is a lot of evidence
They
that
spent
kind
they,
of
they
builds up.
spent a lot of time together, which allowed them to have a lot of moments, even if they
Yeah.
weren't geared towards
I mean,
romantic. You could interpret it as such.
yeah, even as far as going to show that like May was able to defeat her rival, and then you have all the little, like, the smaller stuff on the side, like the roses and there's a lot of blushing. There was an entire episode dedicated to a girl who was a huge fan of Drew, and then she confronted May asking, "Do you like Drew?" And then May blushes and she says, "I don't know, I never really thought about it, but maybe, sorta." Like, and and then they also want, that they're going to Johto to travel together. So contest shipping, I'd say, had a lot of clout, and that's why it's so big in the fandom. Um, I don't know if it is as much because I don't. It's not one that I focus on too much anymore. Um, but definitely it's one of the more popular ones. And of course, I'd say Ash and Misty is popular just again by their dynamics. I think people just liked the fact that they maybe bickered, but at the same time, it's like. And then you could go well as far as saying like, the dub had more hints, or maybe just kind of exaggerated a little bit, but it's like people grew up with that. So I think it's just a whole bunch of different factors. And I'd say the other main factor is that is how much clout it has in the fandom, how much attention um it's given, and I guess how, I don't want to be superficial with this, but maybe it's just how big the person is. Like if you get a popular blogger or a popular YouTuber making a video or a post about a certain ship, I mean, a lot of people are going to see it, and I think they're going to have more influence over others, or maybe just starting out making videos or making posts.
So what you're implying is that PewDiePie needs to make a video about Burgundy and Silent. Is that what you're implying?
I have a feeling if he did, I mean, it'd get a lot more attention.
And then
I mean,
and then literally my timeline would be flooded with fucking fan art to death.
I mean, I feel like I could back up this theory because for the longest time I was like, I before Brock appeared and again in Sun and Moon with the whole Brock and Olivia episodes, I actually kind of shipped that. I was like, I could see this. I guess maybe because in the games it's like Olivia would mention, I don't know, maybe she mentioned that she was single, and then the fact that she's also like specializes in rock types and whatever. I'm like, oh, I wonder how Brock would react to her.
Well, I mean that gets
her existence.
Yeah, I mean that gets into the head canon ships,
But what I noticed, yeah.
Where people.
Oh no, I was.
Oh, I'm bad.
You go ahead. No, it's okay. No, I was just gonna say what I noticed is that early on, it's like there was maybe one fan art for it. And like I was like, really? That's it? Like, I'm surprised that more people haven't thought about this. Then we get the Brock and Misty, the second cameo rolls around. We get that episode, and all of a sudden, then I start seeing fan art and posts, and like, oh my gosh, this is so cute! Like people talking about it. So I guess it's just again has to do with how much clout it gets, both in canon and in the fandom.
Well, because I think mainly the reason is like imagining a ship and then like seeing it play out in front of you is two different things. Like you thinking about Olivia and Brock being together, it's like, oh, it's a cool like fan fiction-y thing you do. But like when you see episodes of them interacting, they're like, they actually look pretty cute together. It's kind of like how people do that in real life. They're like, oh, you and such should go out, and they're like, I don't really see it. And then like you see them together at like a convention or some shit, and you're like, wow, they really look cute together. It's that same. It's like a visual representation feeds into the idea of a particular ship, because headcanons in these kind of cross generation ships will always exist. But like the more you see it, the more you're keen on it. I think another good example that isn't Pokemon related, but is a show that is heavy in the shipping is Steven Universe. Fucking Steven and Connie to me is absolutely adorable. But part of the reason why it's adorable is because you see it so often. You see them interacting and having different like emotions around each other. And people see those scenes and they see those screens and people start screen capping shit and making AMVs of them. Because the more you see it, the more the idea kind of hangs in your head. Especially if you're someone who's kind of prone to that kind of stuff anyway. Like you're already a fan of Steven. So of course, you being a fan of the character makes you think of I would like to see this character be happy. And giving them a significant other usually would make an individual happy. So then your mind just it's almost like a chain reaction. It's like you drop. All you need to do is put a drop in the bucket, or like crack a hole in the pipe for the water to start spilling out.
Yeah. I think that's also again really prevalent with Pokemon because, I mean, all right, let's get real here. The writing isn't. I mean, it's a children's show.
Are you going to critique the writing of Pokemon, Polly?
I guess so, yeah. Well, I mean, first of all, it's a children's anime, so they're not focusing too much on the romance, unless it's like the rare instance that they focus on like Pokemon falling in love. You know?
It's like it has to be the gimmick of the episode usually for it to be a focus.
Yeah, or like two characters of the day, like that one episode I was referring to in Advanced Generation, where I think their names in the dub were actually Romeo and Juliet, and Romeo liked Juliet, but he didn't know how to tell her. So then Ash and May and Brock had to step in and like be their love coaches or something. And then I think it was like the same thing where it's like the Ladybug, they owned a Ladybug and a Volbeat, and like they were also echoing their trainers' feelings. So then like the Volbeat. Oh, no, sorry. What was the other? What was the other Pokemon I said?
Oh,
Illumise.
Yeah.
What in place of that?
Wait,
did I say Illumise?
No, you said Volbeat.
Okay, yeah. Well,
this is getting into the guys. You remember this one episode? It was like
no, Volbeat and Illumise like couldn't put on the light show because I think Volbeat was in love with. Yeah, I think most people watching this remember which one.
Also, a better episode you could have picked was the when Ash's Grovyle evolved in the Sceptile, because he had that thing. He had that thing for Tropius. And he was trying.
There's honestly so many episodes. Like I think Totodile. There was also one with Totodile where it liked the Azumarill, and then I think it was a Golduck or something. That it was like this big like dumb love triangle.
Well, listen, and because at the end of the day, romance is in everything, regardless if it's for children or adults. Yeah. Usually, it just depends on the amount of romance you get. Depends on whether it's for children or adults.
But I think that's why in Pokemon, what my point from before is that, and then this goes even beyond the whole romance or shipping aspect. It's like, you can envision, first of all, it's all this world building beyond the anime. I mean, people make OCs all the time, and they come up with their own adventures, or they draw fan art of themselves with their teams. You know, it's like, there's just so much possibilities. And like so much you could expand on because you have that kind of freedom where it's not like this one linear story of where it's this ongoing world where you can pretty much like do whatever you want. I think that's why a lot of people like having that freedom to sort of um, expand upon these relationships because, some of them aren't touched upon or they didn't get maybe the development they deserved. Um, and like, for example, I think what's one of the reasons why I like Silent and Burgundy because I felt like the whole connoisseur aspect never got, the development it deserved. And, you know, like years ago, some of my friends and I would, like, we really expanded upon that universe. And one of my friends wrote an entire fan fiction about, like, um, the whole connoisseur association. And then Burgundy wound up being Silent's apprentice. And then that's actually like I adopted that as like a headcanon. So I actually like have that kind of like being like what happens after Best Wishes is that Burgundy winds up being Silent's apprentice. So long story short, like what I'm getting at is
it's,
that
it's
I
like
feel
this.
like people watching this are just like, oh my god, she rambled
I
on
mean, I
so
mean,
much.
let's be real here. There's a bunch of fucking people who ship, and it's the reason. That's
Yeah.
part of the reason why although Pokemon will probably be a heavy focus in this video because that's just the nature of who we are. Unfortunately, we've grown up with the series, and it's been kind of a.
Unfortunately.
I say unfortunately because some people say, wait, because some people say you're too fucking old to be into this shit. I tell those people,
Nah.
eat a dick. I have no interest in letting go of things that I enjoy.
I
But
mean,
like, it's one of those things that shipping. It's I would say just like any other part of the fandom, whether it's cosplaying or making your own OC and shit. It all comes from a sense of love. You love this franchise, you love these characters, you love this world. So of course you're invested in Ash Ketchum, you're invested in Misty, you're invested in Brock, and you want to see what happens to them. And even if they
mhm,
disappear for a while, some people have come up with headcanons of what the hell Brock was doing in between generations or during
mhm,
the downtime between when he joined a little later in Hoenn in Advanced Generation. That's what we do. That's what we like
mhm.
to do. And it's fun. And some people want to take it to that level, which is why I feel bad because shipping tends to get some level of hatred because of the toxicity that can come from it. Although people need to be fair and realize that that's just an issue of all fandoms. That's not exclusive to
Oh yeah,
shipping.
I mean,
Yeah, go
no
ahead.
offense, but the My Hero Academia fan, not
Oh,
trying to be like
what you trying to do, Polly?
shady.
Polly, what you trying to
No,
do?
it's like I just see all
Do I
like,
need to put shades on your Poliwhirl avatar? Is that what I need to do?
I mean, there are just other fandoms where I'm just like I just see people fighting all the time. It's just like, I, I, I mean, I remember that with Pokemon. I came in during that era where it's like people would just constantly. It was like the big three, like the big rival ships where it was like will Ash wind up with Misty, May, or Dawn? Or like which was the best one out of all of those? Especially, I think Ash and May, and then versus Ash and Misty, because there's like this like notion that like oh May replaced Misty, and then uh, so it's everywhere. Um, I also I don't like the notion that shipping is cringy either because it is just a fun pastime and like I said like I'm just kind of into that yeah like I find the romantic aspects like interesting but I also just like general friendship dynamics too or just like, even like the different rivalries or the companionships so
But do you want to know why I think people get so aggressive when they're about this kind of stuff?
why
I think partially at least my theory is more so along the lines of this is something that you kind of created, and it means like when people do these ships of like we'll take the most basic of the Pokemon ones. Let's take the Ash and Misty one for example. People
Mhm.
grew up with that ship. That ship was highly pushed in their face in terms of a possibility, and people gleamed onto it. Some of them built communities around these shippings, and some of these people made great friends with it. So when the show ends up betraying that ship in a very non-offensive way, like switching out the characters for Misty for May, and people are now doing the same thing with the May shipping that person did with the Misty shipping long ago. They feel like they're losing something, and so a lot of
Mhm.
aggression breaks out because it's like you've taken something. It's in some way you could say it's kind of like when you leave home, uh, so like you leave home when you're 18 and you go off to college and shit, and you come back and you notice that some of the stores have changed, some of the placements of things have changed. Like you feel like you've lost something, even
Mhm.
though your memories of the way that place used to be is still the same. Just like your memories of how Ash and Misty were a prominent like pair is still a thing. It's just not the current thing. I think
Mhm.
people don't like change, and people don't like change that they have no control over. For a lot of, and that's just a human condition issue. People don't like losing control of the thing that brought them comfort. Because for a lot of
Mhm.
people retreated to shipping because maybe they had some shit going on in their lives and it was able to distract them from some rough times. Like that's half the reason why people like this series in general. The reason why you like Pokemon partially is usually because either it kind of helped you get through a tough time in your life. That's how you usually tell a mark
Mhm.
of an amazing show or game or whatever. Is when people
I
talk.
can definitely say that firsthand. Yeah, that's why I like it.
Yeah,
Um,
and
I mean, I got into it as a teenager, so yeah, like I can't say that ever like it was like a dark time in my life. Like there were some things that like uh but it's definitely helped a lot because it's just so good natured and like teaches good lessons. But go ahead.
yeah, but I think that's part of the reason why people freak out, and I think that happens in all fandoms where they freak out when they lose something in the fan, like how like. Because, I mean, let's be real here. People online will make fun of people like us for freaking out over things as basic as why are you getting angry that Oshawott? I'm just using one of my famous reviews. Why did you get mad for 15 minutes because a fictional Oshawott didn't use water gun in a battle? And I'm like, because it's that continuity that I enjoy. It's Pokemon. It's a series. The reason why people get mad about these little differences and changes in the series that they care about it just shows you how much they love the series. But people
Hmm.
don't realize is that the people you're arguing with also love the series. They might just love it from a different generation or for a different reason than you. In shipping, it's the same thing. I might like Brock as a character because of his potential relationship with Lucy, whereas you might like Brock as a character because of his potential relationships with Nurse Joy or some shit. Like
Yeah.
that's that's a thing that can happen. That's the beauty of a cartoon or a form of media in the first place. That anyone can take anything from it and kind of create their own little story or feelings toward or glean something out of it that another individual doesn't.
Yeah. And that's why I think maybe certain people respond to shipping differently. Um, I forgot like my not my train of thought here. Like um everyone responds.
Where everybody go get.
Hold on.
So the spotlight is on Poliwhirl right now, and
Yeah.
she now has to make a decision if she wants to crack under the pressure.
No, but it's exactly what you're saying. It's like, well, why do you care so much about this? Because I do. Because we have, it's like you go into this with expectations. Like, for example, the biggest thing I thought of aside from shipping is when everyone expected that Ash was going to win the Kalos League, and then
Yeah,
it's like it was just kind of this crushing defeat where like you knew that like once he lost that it's like like I feel like we can't really you feel like we can't really expect him to win at all
right.
because it's like it's almost as if the writing is just for the marketing of the games and not to progress Ash's story, which I agree and disagree with. I mean, I was also upset when Ash lost the Kalos League, but I think I don't think his character completely regressed because of his loss. And like I mean this can go on into like a whole nother
Yeah, but
video.
I'll say
But
this is the joy of the fandom. There's like thousands of things we can sit here and
I
analyze.
know, like you could talk for hours about it. But
And
I
then
think it's just again,
this is just the anime.
oh,
We're not even talking about the fucking games.
oh yeah, well I think that that's why shipping is so like it's just very personal. It can be very like an intimate thing because it's like it's literally how the consumer is responding um to it's not really about like the writing or the characters themselves or the analyzing. It's more just how the person themselves like what they choose to focus on and how they um respond to it, you know.
Well, let me ask you a question, Polly.
Yes.
Do you think the love of shipping can be unhealthy? And if you do, in what way? Or if not, why not?
I think I think it can. Well, I think there are pros and cons to it because I think like for the most part, people who make it an issue and are constantly arguing, um, they don't know how to separate fiction from reality. And like I I think it's normal for when maybe these like kids are younger. Like I feel like I used to like there's times when I've been immature about things and like, well, I hate this ship and that ship and I don't, like when I was 13 years old. But now I think as an adult, I'm kind of able to just like it for what it is and focus on the ships that I like and the character dynamics that I like. But then I also know kind of when to put my emotions away on that and kind of just focus on real life and also realize that people in real life are different and the way that we interact is kind of, it's like I think it becomes a problem where you have the same expectations with fictional characters that uh that you do for regular dating. I think it can be an issue sometimes because it's like you expect like but it's like how like like the hope like I'm not gonna lie, like I'm a hopeless romantic, or I kind of I've always liked the dynamic of like two people bickering, or it's like they hate each other but then they wind up like falling in love. But I've come to realize that being an adult, especially in this society nowadays, probably not gonna be like that, and maybe there's just like a nice person out there who, I'm not gonna wind up bickering with or hating at first, because that first of all, I think that's like a little bit unhealthy to kind of wish for that or whatever.
But you are into
Uh,
it.
I am kind of into it, yeah. The whole hate love
So
dynamic.
that brings up the question: is your taste in shipping uh does it correlate with your taste in dating in general? Like the traits you like in a good shipping relationship, is that the kind of shit you would want in your own personal real life relationships, or are they completely different? Like some people want to have the more exaggerated relationships in their pretendships because they don't care to do that in real life. So they kind of live through their animated shippings. Or sometimes it's a correlation where the type of shippings you like are like the kind of relationships you want to have.
I think it's just the kind of, yeah, I think it's both. um,
So you have a ship
I
to
kind
cover
of
all your needs.
pretty much, but I also realized that like, like I'm not gonna. At first, I was like, that's only how I want it to be when I was younger. But now it's like you just realize there are so many people out there, and like there could be somebody like for example, like I'll use my mom as an example. Like my dad like wasn't her type at all. Like I think she went for the more like quiet, maybe like the strong silent type or something. My dad's not really my dad's strong, but he's definitely not silent. Like he's very loud and he could be obnoxious. He's funny. He's like the jokester of the family, and like put her off guard. Like she wasn't expecting that at all, but somehow they work really well together. Um, and so it's like I feel like having those expectations can be a little bit unhealthy. Like, but it's also but at the same time, it's like you like what you like. Like, for example, like what I'm looking for in the future, I could definitely see myself with somebody who's just a little bit more engaging. Because I don't think I work well personally with like somebody who's like a little too quiet. Like I think I'm attracted to confidence and like a little bit of banter
Do
is
I need
good.
to like give people like a number they can reach you at? To be
No,
like,
no, no. This isn't a
I'm.
personal
This is
ad.
like, hey, guy. It's like, hi, fellas. My name is Polly, and I'm here to find love. Hey, listen. If we just to be fair, because I have my wifey material, I like someone a little contrary too.
Yeah, you know what? If I said mine, you should say
Well,
yours.
cause see, I'm the type of dude. See, the problem is, it's weird because people don't think I'm quiet, and to a degree, I'm not. But I'm also, I still consider myself introverted, even if I'm not as quiet as I used to be. I like a type of chick. See, it's weird personality wise. I don't really mind if you're loud or rowdy as long as you know when to dial it back or not. I've always been
Mm,
into those type of girls who are very straightforward and honest. I find that attractive because I hate playing games and beating around the bush.
mhm.
I always appreciate girls who just tell me what they want and shit, because then it's like I gotta play this fucking game of, well, I think she gave me two shoulder nods, but I can't tell if that means that she doesn't like me or if she wants me to go get her something. I don't like that shit. I know
Yeah.
this comes from a deep seated hatred of fucking romantic chess, where I gotta sit here and strategize how the fuck I'm gonna get this girl to go out with me, when I rather just walk up to the girl and be like, hey, I think you're cute. Do you mind if we go get a couple of drinks? Please say yes, because the anxiety is killing me right now and I'm gonna
Yeah.
pass out from the strain. That's what I appreciate. I went way too
Re-
far into this. Jesus Christ.
Relationships, well, that's where it goes to show that I think I think where the psychology comes in, where relationships in real life are hard. Not only relationships, friendships too. It's like we haven't talked for 5 days. Like, is this person mad at me, or are they just busy? Or, they didn't like my Facebook post or my Instagram picture. Like, and it's, well, a lot of it is social media, but then even, body, like what we were saying, body language too. It's hard because, like, I think humans real life are so complex, and I'm not saying that like fictional characters aren't, because I guess it depends on their writing, how well they're developed, and how complex they are, and it's just their personality. But I think sometimes people find comfort in kind of like not having to deal with all that other crap, like we were saying.
Yeah,
Um,
it's almost like anime, manga, like TV shows, shit. Those kind of ships are like a simplified version of like normal relationships. And people like that straightforward nature, so they can just kind of gleam off of the one or two character quirks a character might have and use it as the basis of who I want to ship them with. Versus like real human beings who can flip personality traits and thought processes in the course of a day or some shit, and you
yeah,
won't find out until all of a sudden they explode on you later on in the day for no goddamn reason.
yeah. Or one minute they're like,
Seated trauma, so this isn't for personal experience at all. Uh,
I mean, I've had my share of crushes here and there, and I've,
I think we all
I
have.
mean,
I think we all have
yeah,
had our crushes. We've had our real crushes and our animated crushes, because at the end of the day, we all like. It's kind of like you were saying way early on in this conversation. We desire human interactions, even if it isn't to the same degree as other people. We all still
hmm
desire to interact and to have some sort of connection. And hopefully, for some people, it blossoms into like a legit relationship. And for other people, they just have a healthy friendship out of it. As
hmm
long some people just want something. Some people don't even want specifically like a relationship. They just want something because they want that feedback, I guess.
yeah, I definitely agree.
So I think we've spent about a good, I want to say at least 30 or 40 minutes on just on the psychological side of this. And although I appreciate this, and this is actually turning out way better than I thought it was going to.
Oh,
Um,
good, really? Because I feel like I've been rambling on.
yeah, but see, it's not, it's like the psychological rambling, and I appreciate that
Yeah.
kind of rambling. Um, but at the end of the day, we are talking about a bunch of fucking animated characters. Let's be real here. So it wouldn't be really a shipping video if we didn't get into some trash pairings and a bunch of headcanon and a bunch of.
Oh boy.
But now, to be fair here, I don't have nowhere near as much of an investment of this as you do. So this, you may feel like you were being the star here, which I mean technically you are. Uh,
Oh.
so just know in advance this is what this is gonna go into. Um, I don't know. I've always so here's a theory of mine. I believe there is different tiers to shipping and being and in the shipping fandom. Base tier is just being like, I think these characters would be cute together. I think second tier is probably fan art. I think third tier is fan fiction. I think fourth tier is like, this is where shit gets
Making your
complicated.
friend cosplay the other character and then you like take pictures
Oh
together. I
yeah,
don't know.
okay, fuck it. I wasn't even thinking about that. God damn, I didn't know how prevalent of a thing that was to put that as a tier. But fuck it.
I don't know. That's like that was just like a rant. That was kind of like more of a joke, but also I've seen it like
I usually see
in
couples do that more than anyone else, though. That's the only.
yeah,
But see, life.
yeah,
But see, when you're out here hashtag single life, you can't. Life
yeah.
isn't that easy. Anyways,
Same. I will never have a butch to cosplay by Cassidy, but whatever.
listen. We can't get up here and be fucking depressed on this shit, all right?
It's okay.
Because then I'm gonna get a bunch of comments like Terrell, and I'm like, don't say it, because people do tend to be. I know what people would tend to say. It's like, oh, you're doing a video with a girl by yourself, and for some reason you're sitting
Oh
there complaining
boy.
about being lonely. The fuck's wrong with you? And I'm like, everything's wrong with me. I don't have the time to list all my problems.
Same.
This weird self-deprivation. This is how I cope with awkwardness. God damn it. Anyways,
No, it's
I
not
would.
awkward.
It's not awkwardness, but it's.
People are like, I find it funny, especially in the Pokemon, where people are like, "Oh my gosh, there's a girl here."
You
It's
gotta
just
realize
like,
it's not common. It's not. It really
it's
isn't.
funny because I think, like, with some of my friends and like, kind of saying like the large majority of the people that I used to interact with in the fandom, especially on Tumblr, like, are girls. Like, I'm not saying that to be like,
Well, that's because I think there are more. I think the female fans of shows are way more into the shipping part of it than like the guys who seem to be more into like the plot and characters. And not to say that girls aren't
hmm
into those things, but I think girls are way more into shipping. I think shipping is more of a female thing anyway, just from my
yeah,
experiences of people in various fandoms. Most people who ship and go through the effort of doing the fan art and the OCs and the fan fiction, that's more girls I've seen do that versus
hmm
guys. So I didn't assume that there weren't girls in the fandom. I just didn't think there were girls who were into that. And to be fair, you're a representation of that because you're more into the anime than you are like the games
hmm
versus
yeah,
like people like me and Tyrone who are like way more into the games. Not saying we don't enjoy the anime, but we are also heavy into the games.
Meanwhile, it takes me 3 years to finish the game.
Why you expose yourself like this? You just try to
Oh,
she's like, look, listen, guys. If you wanted to throw a dart at me, here's my forehead. I'll draw a circle where you can aim, and I'll say, hit me right
well,
here.
I also have my own psychology for that too.
Like,
Like, not even, but okay, all right.
uh, yeah, the tears. I guess I'll put the cosplaying above the fan fiction. I think the OC baby is probably right above the fan fiction, and then above the OC baby, it's cosplaying. And I'll just put cosplaying in general because I don't want to get into the subsections of the kind of cosplays.
Yeah.
And then I guess at some point we got to put role playing in here at some point.
Oh yeah.
I'm probably gonna put role. I think role playing is probably the top tier. If you're role playing
Mm-hmm.
these relationships, that's on some top tier shipping shit. And people need to chill out with the role play shit because I think people think that role play is like an immediately bad thing. Fuck no. Fuck couples do role
No.
plays. It's just different tiers to the role play and what the fuck you're in the mood for. I feel like this is gonna turn to a fetish podcast real
Well,
quickly. I really do.
um, well, I've been a part of like multiple role playing communities. It actually started out on Facebook. That's how far back we're talking. Well,
Now,
not even that far back. Like,
I guess I can ask you real quick. Is it like now when you do these role plays, are these you role playing as the character of choice, or are y'all role playing your OCs, or does it just
uh,
depend on the person?
I think it depends. Because some of my other friends are really into their OCs or the OC babies. I think that they've referred to them as like fan children, aka children of the canon characters, like
Yeah,
whoever
yeah,
they
yeah.
ship. So, just for the audience to know. But me personally, it's my character of choice. So like way back when I role played as Cassidy, and then on Tumblr years later I role played as Burgundy and Brock. I think maybe like one or two other characters for like a good like few years. And I've seen that roleplay group like go through a lot of changes. Some of it fell through, and I mean, no, that's fine, whatever. But it was fun while it lasted, and it also like made me kind of want to be a better writer. Like it really helped me, like especially with like because I've always wanted to get better at like characterization and like really understanding like a character's like thoughts and feelings and like fears and hopes and dreams and all that stuff. Just because I occasionally in my free time I do like writing.
Well, I always
And
figured,
even
that was part of the fun of fan fiction. Like, the reason why a lot of people did is because they wanted to get good at that kind of stuff. Because a lot of like young writers usually end up writing a bunch of fan fiction.
hmm It really does help to role play, and it's also a fun escape too. It's like you can be whoever you want. Like you can be somebody completely different. Like Birdie, like I'd say I have some qualities that are similar to her, but it's kind of fun being like this angry, uh, you know, character who speaks bad French half the time and like gets to insult her rival, or even Cassidy, who's a villain. It's like I can't be a villain in real life.
I mean, you can, but it
Well,
just.
I can be petty sometimes, but
Oh
I
my
guess.
goodness.
But no, it's like it's like I got to role play like her and Butch going on these like crazy heists or just like how they interact as partners in crime. And like I think it's just like role playing could be like a fun escape, I guess. And like not everybody likes that, but I'd say that's definitely like a top tier.
Yeah, because I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think the main thing about role playing that people always misconstrued a lot of shit from is that
Is that it
they
is.
assume that, oh, if you're role playing it's something overtly sexual. Now
Uh,
listen, I'll be real with you. It still is. There's still some sexual nature shit in role
mhm.
playing. That's not get it twisted here. Motherfuckers will do that for sexual reasons. But
Oh, I mean, I can admit firsthand that like some of our role plays have gotten, like a little steamy here and there. Like not every single one. Like sometimes it's just hilarious, like some of the dialogue that comes from it. But I'd say if you are doing it like for like, at least a ship that you like, I mean, most likely it's gonna end up.
essentially there are rules, and usually you make those rules out with the individual before you guys start role playing anyway.
Yes, I
Like
think as long as it's consensual.
yeah. Did you consent to this role play, madame? Oh shit.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Oh my lord.
I
Uh,
think you also have to like there has to be a level of trust between like for like I role played with a very good friend of mine. So like we kind of just knew each other's like writing style and stuff, and like I liked his characterization of Silent, and he also played Butch too. So like I guess I was just like mostly comfortable um role playing with him because yeah.
remember, kids. Always ask for consent and never force yourself upon another individual
I feel
doing
like
it.
I'm trying to make this like very like as kosher as
I
I
mean,
can for
it's
the
pretty. I mean,
audience,
listen.
but it's like at some point it's gonna get
To be real, and let's be real. We listen. I feel like I don't. Do I want to open this bag of worms?
yes,
Um,
please do.
Do I? I don't fucking know if I want to do this. I was gonna say it's like everybody is a deviant to some degree. Like we're all fucking human beings. We all have desires. I don't know why this shit is even surprising to people anymore. Oh, there are people who are into fucking role playing as animated characters. That are people who masturbate to shit online. Yes, all these things happen, and it doesn't matter what fandom you're a part of. I thought
Yeah.
people saw this after the whole My Little Pony thing. Motherfuckers do not care about a lot of things when it comes to their fandoms. They will indulge in some of the ridiculous shit. And the funny thing is that the shit we're talking about is pretty base. Like, this isn't even like deep level shit that we could be fucking with because, man, as long as I've been on the internet, there is shit that people have seen that people wouldn't even be prepared for. But a lot of you guys are young, and this is also Pokemon somewhat related, so maybe I shouldn't address this to a bunch of kids. But as you've seen, there are way more than kids that are into Pokemon.
Honestly, this is the internet. I mean, like,
yeah, it's like
I think
it's like
people have probably seen some shit.
Yeah, but I say if you haven't seen some shit, then good for you. But you're gonna get that ruined real quick. Anywho, this is wow. This got crazy. Jesus Christ.
Working hard for the fans.
No, I'm not working hard for the fans. They'd be like, yeah, look at this. Trail just used this as an excuse to expose this poor girl to all of his fetishes. That's what I'll get in the comments.
I mean,
and I didn't even go over anything. God damn it, that's the problem.
That might be one part that I might. No, it's good.
Poli, no. I should say no. Fuck it. Is that something we are prepared to talk about? Are we prepared?
No, not. It took a while for my group of friends and I to like
figure out what you were each into. Let's be real about it. Let's be fucking.
I don't know. I don't know how many people are watching this. I know.
More than you'll. Depending on how far in the video they get, depends on how many views this gets.
Oh boy.
Jesus Christ, I don't fucking know. If I want to, I might just clip some of this part out and just put it on Twitter, and people be like, "The fuck were you guys doing? We're talking about shipping." No, the fuck y'all weren't. Somebody had a bottle of lotions on.
For some reason.
See, the good news is I'm on camera. So like when they see the video, they'll see me. They'll know exactly what I'm doing. You, on the other hand, you gonna have to explain that to them. I can't be that man.
Oh boy.
Whoa, my goodness.
I literally
10 out of 10. We'll see how much I'm willing to cut out. It all depends. Anyways, fuck it. Anyways, let's just, you know what, fuck it. Why don't we just discuss some of your favorite ships? And let's stick with Pokemon because that's the fandom we're part of. What are some of your favorite ships in Pokemon and why?
Okay, so my top favorite Pokemon ship is Butch and Cassidy. It's like kind of like out of nowhere. It's like at least for like Jesse and James, it's like okay, they are pretty much main characters. They've been on the show for years.
Does that mean you're a hipster shipper? Is that what this is?
I mean, I guess so, but I actually, unlike some of my other ships, I don't really remember too much about how it happened. I think it was either that. So for those who haven't watched the Chronicles happened as Advanced Generation is airing. Yeah. It's not even that it's an in-between season. It's actually, it goes, like, there are certain episodes that actually go with, like, the timing, the timeline, Advanced Generation as it's happening. I think there's one where it's, like, Team Rocket is, like they have their own story, right? And then they blast off, and then 5 seconds later, you see Ash, May, Max, and Brock walking through the woods, you know? So that was pretty cool. So the Chronicles, again, another tangent, but it's one of my favorite seasons. And the other reason why it's one of my favorite seasons is because Butch and Cassidy are actually the main antagonists of that series. And you get to see them do all this, go on all these goofy adventures, and become kind of the main villains, for most of it. I think the Chronicles are like 20-something episodes. There are a few Pikachu shorts here and there, and like Meowth shorts, but I think for the most part, most of the episodes have to do with Butch and Cassie kind of causing all this trouble. Mostly like for Misty at the gym, and then I guess for other characters too. So I guess that's where I first.
I feel like Poli's description of fucking Pokemon Chronicles is it has Butch and Cassidy in it. Oh, and some other characters too.
Well, you know what's funny? They're actually not featured in any of the opening.
I know they're not.
Which I find
that's what's kind of funny to me.
That is the crime.
You see, this is your hipster. Where are your hipster shades? You're
I
fucking.
know. I mean,
You're in there drinking Starbucks. I know how this shit is.
well, here I am rallying for a Pokemon Chronicles 2 because there's just some characters like Iris who never even got a cameo. You know what I
Well,
mean?
she got a special, and that's all I have to hold on to.
Yeah.
Cause
Or Serena now. Like, who knows where Serena is?
well, hashtag
It'd be
fuck
cool if
Serena in my
they.
heart, but that's a whole other issue. What's up?
But oh yeah, more shipping. But
No,
I don't know if
yeah,
we should.
that's the. That was when Gen 6 said, you know what we're gonna do, folks? We're gonna give you a reason to start shit posting a bunch of shipping again. What
I mean, I
about
feel like
Misty?
eventually
Fuck
we gotta
Misty.
get on that topic, but
I
of the more
mean,
shipping because it's probably like since it is a blatant,
but
thing
I've
in
been trying.
fandom,
Listen, see, Polly, I was trying to avoid it, and you won't let
you're
me.
trying to avoid it.
I was
I will
trying.
say firsthand, I will admit I'm sorry to anybody. Well, first of all to Kevin, and second of all to anybody else who. I am like I'm indifferent to more shipping because Ash and Misty is like my top. Like I see Ash and Misty personally
Yeah,
ending up together.
even
It's just my
that's
personal preference, just the way I like that kind of again that dynamic of the banter, a little bit more than the dynamic that I feel that Ash and Serena had. I felt like it was just personally, I just felt like it was just very uneven route, like where it's like Serena just constantly put Ash on this pedestal, and I also have just issues with the way Ash was characterized in X and Y.
that's
So
because
it's just
Ash
yeah,
in X and Y was a Shonen Jump character, meaning he was like fucking. He was like, I mean, that's what he was. He's like, oh look, I'm gonna make him like Naruto or Ichigo or fucking Goku or some shit. He was like a Shonen Jump hero, and the goal of the side chick was to be the side chick who was just riding his dick the whole
yeah,
time.
yeah.
That's a whole nother issue. I'm perfectly cool, but I will say my ship for Ash is probably Ash and Misty. As much as I like
Mhm.
his dynamic with May, who I think would be my second place for Ash ships, Misty is that girl for me. Like she fits exactly the kind of ship I care about, which is that she's the type of girl that doesn't let Ash get away with everything, but is also someone who's very caring and concerned for Ash. I like that check and balance. She perfectly ticks off that line. Also, I have my little headcanon ship that's Annabelle. Um, Fun fact: the reason why I like Annabelle so much in the games is because of her appearance in the anime. Um,
Mhm.
I find her
Yeah, she was
adorable.
cool.
That's my weakness. She I found her adorable, so it fucked with me. But
No,
yeah,
yeah, I mean,
go ahead, I'm
but
sorry.
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's also like I'm pretty casual. Like, even though, and like I know there are a bunch of other people who feel the same way, where it's like you ship multiple people. It's like Ash could pretty much wind up with anybody. I mean, he's that friendly. He has a lot of friends and a
Ash
lot
has
of
a so
different.
essentially what you're saying is Ash has his own
Ash has
harem.
a-
10 out of 10. We need a harem anime featuring Ash Ketchum. Uh, Jiggle
Well,
make the characters 18 and then add jiggle physics, please. 10 out of 10.
oh my
That's
gosh. Well, I also ship. I mean, it's like everyone kind of gets into this mindset of sometimes of like Ash and his harem of Poke Girls, but it's like,
you get
I mean,
bitches.
again, it's like I see beyond that, like where it's like
But
even like some of
Polly,
the rivals, or like, I mean, I also personally like palette shipping, which is Ash and Gary, because like I like that trope of
yeah,
and
okay.
whether it's platonic or
No, we need.
romantic,
All
I
right,
mean,
listen. We got to address it because you brought it up. We need to address it. Our
yes,
Yaoi and Yuri shippings.
yeah.
Uh, I don't even know where the fucking start on this one.
I feel like we got off on a like you
It
asked me what
does.
my favorite shifts are, and
It doesn't matter. What did I tell you before we even recorded? This is gonna be a shit show. I told you before.
eventually I have to list off the rest of them. But let's
I mean, you
continue.
do. I'm just saying, the first half of this was a bunch of psychoanalysis, so I think the good part of the video is done. This is the part of the video where people are gonna
Yeah.
call you us a fucking weirdos for. So I'm gonna say, well, if I'm gonna get that moniker, I'm gonna earn it. Now, personally, I don't fucking yaoi or yuri ship. I don't really care to do that. I don't have a lot of couples that even. Well, yaoi shipping, I just can't do it. And people do this shit with anime all over the place. Like, it's insane.
Yeah. Okay, so I will say that like whenever I do, it's kind of again, it's like but even with just regular like, guy and girl ships, it's like for me I just have to like that dynamic. Like I'm not shipping it because it's like, oh, it's a guy and a girl and that's cute or like whatever, or it's like, oh well, I have to have like at least one male ship or female ship, like to I don't know. Like I mean I
So
appreciate representation, but it has to be that I like the dynamic of it. For
you,
example, Kirishima and Bakugo. I
I'm
mean,
about to say,
they
I was gonna say, did you want to talk about your favorite ship currently
yeah.
right now?
I mean,
Because let's be real here, Polly. And now look, I completely understand why you like the shipping because of how much they're together and how much they interact in the show and in the manga. Uh,
mhm.
although some of the shit that I've seen you post is on some. I feel like
A
you
little
want. I
risque,
feel like you want them to be more than friends. God damn it!
of
Like this.
course.
Polly, don't be so casual.
Okay, first of all,
You were so casual with it. You were like, of
okay,
course, what did you think I was trying to get them? Just to shake hands? No, I want way more than that.
okay. First of all, I don't know who here watches My Hero Academia.
Everyone.
Most of you have
Everyone
probably heard
watches
of
it.
it. Yeah. Anyway, literally, Crunchy. I think it was either Viz. Oh no, it was Funimation.
Yeah, Funimation
One,
dubbed
one,
it.
yeah. They came out with a trailer. In the movie, there's a scene where Kirishima and Bakugo are in this like literally it's like a love hotel, like it's designed, it's very colorful. There's one bed, so you can't tell me that's like not blatant.
Did
Like
you?
they literally share a hotel room. Hiroshima buys Bakugo a suit to wear at the dinner later that night with the exact measurements and everything, and the suit has like roses and shit on it. Like
Polly,
I it's
were,
just so obvious.
Quali, did you fangirl? Do we need to talk about this?
Yes.
Were you running around the room screaming or just like,
I was in the movie theater actually, and my
oh,
friend who also ships it, we were just like just losing it the entire time. Like
this
I did not see that coming,
I
you know?
haven't, dude. I don't. Yeah, Bakugo may have not seen that coming.
Well, it's also because I know I'm never gonna get this with Pokemon, you know? I'm
Well, I
never gonna
mean,
get
you what,
I,
like
oh wait,
yaoi moments? Is that what you?
the closest I've gotten, no, like more towards like, like actual like getting actual hints, you know? Like I think the
I
closest
don't think
I've
that's
gotten
a. To be fair, I don't think that's a hit, Polly. I think that's just literally them pushing the idea that they're friends and you guys running with it and being like, they are married now.
but it was
They
a
are husband and
colorful love
husband.
hotel with one bed.
No, this is you running with it. They know what the
Anyway,
fandom does.
but
That's,
again, I think that goes back into the psychological aspect where it's like different people react to different things.
I
It's like
know.
that meme of like
My hero
I
has
don't
too
know,
many fucking
where
pretty boys.
the
That's the
old lady's
problem.
like, "Oh, I think they look like they're really good friends."
See, my hero just has too many fucking pretty boys. That's the problem. Y'all got these
Yeah.
fucking. I've seen so many dojins of Todoroki and Deku. My
Well,
goodness.
I will say like that's the other thing. It's like that. I mean, I think that it's kind of cute. It's not my favorite ship, you know. So it's again like for me, it just depends on the type of dynamics I like. Or it's like I Kirishima and Bakugo's characters are like just character traits that I like, and like the way they interact is, I guess I'm just more into a relationship like that, where it's like Deku and Todoroki are a little bit like Todoroki's very closed off and kind of like sullen, and he has all the angsty like backstory. Like that's even though I love him because I love everybody in that show, um, he's just not my type of character that like I focus on too much, just because I don't usually go for like the angsty,
So what?
like closed off type.
So what?
But that's also like a trope that like other people like that I've seen, you know. So it just all depends on the person and
So,
what they
so
prefer.
essentially, what I've learned here is that Bakushima gets the Poly stamp of approval, which
Yes,
means now I have to figure out how to make a fucking stamp icon out of a goddamn Poly world
just
wearing
use
some.
the swirl emoji.
Oh god.
That's what I do.
Oh my goodness.
That's my water. That's my little like watermark.
Is it? Were you gonna say is your watermark? I'm
Oh my god.
fucking garbage, people. Don't ever think I'm funny. I'm not. I just
No, it's okay. I mean,
I overcompensate because I'm not funny.
you're hilarious.
No, I'm insane Hence the
I'm
the name.
I literally have the weirdest sense of humor. Like I don't understand. I don't know how my friends like put up with me.
Because that's the reason why. Because it's so off the wall. Like people will look. You're the type of person who will look at a wall and be like, "Man, these walls are. This is a really intimate picture." And your friends would turn and be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" It'd be like street graffiti of like words and shit. You'd be like, "This is a very intimate picture." You're like, "What?" but people appreciate that kind of comedy because it's like, yeah, we bring her with us. Why? Because we don't know what the fuck she's gonna say, and that's what makes things awesome.
I'm glad I have that reputation.
Okay, we got like I don't want this video to be like as long as our fucking movie reviews, because then it's like, oh, no. Dude, what did you do? Oh, we spent like 2 hours talking about shipping and yaoi and role playing and shit, and it's like, the fuck were you doing on Friday night?
Are you kidding me? That's a great way to spend a Friday night, honestly.
I see. This is why they take you everywhere, because they know you can be trusted. Jesus Christ. I
feel like at some point we should get like Tyrone and like the others. I want to know what they.
I asked Tyrone. Tyrone said we probably. Tyrone, because I invited, I don't know, I might cut this part out. I asked Tyrone originally if he wanted to jump in. He was like, nah, I said, you and Polly probably need like a one-on-one video, because he said me and him have done one-on-one videos before. And I'm like, yeah, that, and also because the problem is, the reason why I didn't add anyone else is primarily because no one else talks shipping. Like, is that a common thing to do? And I wouldn't have brought it up until I realized it's almost Valentine's Day, and holy shit, I now know somebody who fucking loves shipping. There needs to be a video of this everywhere that I can put it. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anywho, to kind of close this out, let's finish the list you have of your ships. I don't have enough
I have
to
so
really.
many.
I know you do.
Oh, okay. Well, it's more like I have ships that like I started out with like 10 years ago. This is actually my 10th year in the Pokemon fandom, so it's just kind of cool to think about. Thank you. It's been a long road, let me tell you. But anyway,
on the road to Viridian City.
Well, also I should probably tell everybody, and I might have mentioned this in other videos before, that I didn't grow up with this series. I actually wasn't really allowed to watch anime when I was growing up. My parents kind of like, I guess I went to a very I went to like a private like Catholic school, and like they didn't like manga. They didn't like Harry Potter. It's like they I think they even like banned like Harry Potter.
I love that.
It's like,
I love that statement. They didn't like manga and they didn't like Harry Potter. It's like, what?
No, it's like they really didn't. So I think a lot of
wizards?
parents were kind of like influenced with what the school said about it. So it's like my parents kind of put like Pokemon or even like some of the other like more innocent childhood shows like Digimon or Yu-Gi-Oh like into kind of like this one bubble where it's like all Japanese anime is bad or it's evil.
To be fair, you say that Pokemon's innocent, and then we're sitting here talking about
I know shipping.
Yeah, shipping and role playing and all this other shit. And where did it stem from? The love of Pokemon.
Well, very much. So yeah, so I actually didn't grow up with it. So I guess it's like I kind of went into it like as a 13-year-old, like, you know, having like crushes of my own in middle school, and like
and your heart just fell in love once you started seeing all these guys in Pokemon.
When I saw Brock, I mean, it was love at first.
That's
why Brock can't get anybody, because he belongs with me, and that's probably the cringiest thing I've ever said in my life.
No, it isn't. I've heard cringier from you, although you were tired. Well, actually, you weren't tired. I was tired. Anyways, so, actually, you know what? Fuck it. Why Brock? I think that would be the question that I think needs to like.
I don't know.
This shit off. Like, why Brock? Because of all the guys and all the characters you could claim, quote unquote, Brock seems to be your favorite, and I never understood.
Okay.
I don't get it. For one, I'm not a guy who claims husbandos, because I'm not that kind of guy. Nothing wrong with it. I'm just not that kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
And two, I don't even think I have a Poke wife character.
A Poke wife.
I don't know. I mean, what would you call it? Would you? I mean, I figured Brock is the Poke husband. Like, I feel like you've marked him with the scent of Poliwhirl, up and down. Wow, that sounded.
Holy world.
Oh.
I've tried my hand at these impressions.
Oh my god!
I can't. I'm not Eric Stewart tier level.
I don't even. Whoa, my heart! I was not prepared.
Did you know that Eric Stewart actually voices like half my favorite characters? Like it's hilarious. He voices Butch, Brock, Poliwhirl, Totodile, Squirtle, James.
I'm not
like
I'm not surprised, but I was.
Anyway, okay, so why Brock?
Yeah, why Brock?
Okay, so I have this thing where I actually like don't really go for like the main characters of a series. I don't go for the main characters, and I also don't go.
You're a fucking hipster. All right, I've confirmed it.
I know, I am a hipster, and I also don't go for like the angsty like the Todoroki type, where it's like I like them, but I'm not, like it's just that sort of personality trait just isn't my favorite. Like I'm just not really. I go for more characters who just kind of have like they're kind of like either the underdog or they have like some kind of quirkiness to them. So Brock had the whole gag of like where he'd like flirt with all these women, or it's like he's like it's just like he has his own goofiness, and I think I just liked kind of like maybe when I was 13 and first got into the series, I like wasn't. Because I would just like it all started when my brother, he picked up a copy of Diamond and he started playing it. And then he remembered, 'cause he's several years younger than me. He's like, oh yeah, like there was a show once that, and I think it's still airing. So what happened was he started from the beginning, and he would hog our family desktop this is before it was normal for like young people to have like laptops. Before I got my nice ancient now 2009 white MacBook.
This is like back in
my
day.
So he would hog the family desktop, and when I wanted to be playing Webkins or Club Penguin or something, he would be watching Pokemon. So eventually it just got to the point where like my sister and I would just like go in the living room and watch with him, because it's like you can't really tell him to get off the computer because it's like technically he was there first, and like so eventually it's like I just kind of, it's like he was getting to the Johto series, I guess. It's like every episode would be like Brock falling in love with a girl or just like some kind of quirky random plot line. And I would just like die laughing. Like I just thought it was the funniest thing ever, I guess. And then I guess I just also like how caring he is, like how much he's cared for Ash and Misty and like the other companions. Like he really is just like Mama Brock. Like he cooks and he cleans and he takes care of all the Pokemon. And then the whole thing Diamond Pearl where he eventually becomes a doctor. Like I just love that. And like it's like people are like, oh, he became stale like, towards the end of his run. And like I get that like a Diamond Pearl he didn't do much, but at the same time, I think he is like a complex character pretty much. Like there's a lot of different sides to him, especially in the original series. Like there's so many like different episodes, like not even just focusing on him with like a girl, but just even like with his Pokemon, or just like all the stuff with him, like the fact that he used to be a gym leader, now he's trying to follow his own like another path, so all those factors combined, I'd say.
I have two questions.
Yes.
First question: have you ever imagined Brock asking you out like he does all these other girls?
Possible.
Okay, that's probably like 1,000 times yes. She probably has thought about it pretty frequently.
I would say yes in an instant. I would love to go on a date with him.
Okay.
This is so weird to talk about.
The second question is, if you two got married, which I'm pretty sure you've already imagined.
Oh God.
Who would be the wife?
Oh my gosh.
Would you? Are
He'd
you?
definitely be the better parent, I feel.
Yeah, I know. Well, see. You've already exposed yourself. I wasn't even gonna go into the baby thing. I figured you already imagined that too. But I was like, well,
Um,
I'll leave the headcanon stuff alone. And she was like, well, I mean, he'd be a good dad. And you're like, oh, so you know. So guys,
uh,
she's taken. I'm sorry. I apologize in advance. She's sold. Her heart belongs to that 2D guy with no eyes. All right, he's out here pimping like a motherfucker.
oh my gosh, I actually have a Brock shirt, and I got it
I know
like,
you do. I would have guessed
oh
that.
yeah,
I would have guessed that anyway. But I
I
know you.
wore it to Anime NYC. It was that first night yeah. Okay. So anyway, no, but I'm saying I actually got that by chance. It was at one. It was I was at New York Comic Con with some friends. We decided to do one of those like secret like grab bags
Yeah,
things,
yeah.
and like the series like there were multiple series there. Like it was like Pokemon and like other Nintendo series and like other cartoons. So I was not expecting this at all. And what do I get? I get the Brock theme T-shirt. Like that was like fate that came out of nowhere, you know?
Oh
Like,
my goodness. Oh my
but
goodness.
anyway,
Yeah. So it's been like an hour and a half. I feel like I feel like there's too much to
I
unpack.
mean, we could keep going. I'm.
I'm not saying we can't keep going, but at the end of the day, people, like I said, I don't want this to be like insanely long because we're already around an hour and a half, and most of
Should I
the
give like a top five of my favorite ships, or maybe just the ones that I like recently just focus on a lot, or like, sorry, I feel like I always interrupt you. Like continue.
the good news, folks, is I ain't shit, so it's fine. It's perfectly fine. Um,
What?
no, it's self deprecating humor. Don't mind me. I do it sometimes. Everyone has their moments. I think that'd be a good way to end it. Is be like, what are your top 5 ships, and if you have any advice for the young shippers out there, give it to them. So top 5 ships, and then advice for the youth. Even though you're not that fucking old to begin with, but still.
Okay. Ooh. First would be Neo shipping, which is Butch and Cassidy. Second is Sommelier shipping, Silent and Burgundy. Um, it's kind of like gray area with like the others. It's like there's like those two are definitely like my top favorites. Like that I focus on the most. And then if we're talking other shows, it'd be Kirishima and Bakugo. But like in terms of Pokemon, I mean, there's ones that like I'll go through phases, you know. Like I mean, Ash and Misty is always going to be a con for me. It was one of my first ships. Um, Brock, I kind of switch around a lot
Because you
just
want him.
because, yeah, pretty much. I mean, I like Brock and Olivia, but at the same time, it's like I was hoping that the 2 episodes would have given us a little bit more, like instead of just kind of a one-sided thing. But I mean, again, I'm asking for too much here. I'd say aside from Olivia, I actually really liked Brock with Holly. I don't know if anybody remembers Holly. She was from the Sinnoh tag battle in the first season of Diamond and Pearl.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So I actually really liked that dynamic because I mean, well, I like Brock and Lucy. Like I think it's cute, like for all the reasons that you were saying, but I just like that dynamic, like it's like that banter where it's like they're on kind of like an equal footing in terms of like just their dialogue and like
You just like
um
couples that fight. That's what it is.
I don't know, is that unhealthy? I mean, well, I another popular one, but it's not my favorite is actually Brock and Autumn. The maid from the maid episode of Diamond Pearl, but I personally
Oh,
I
I know
see
you're
Autumn
talking
as a
about.
bit younger, so I don't really ship it. I think it was a very cute like mentor mentee. But I do have friends that do ship it, and you know, again, so I'd say that's probably my biggest Brock ship after Brock and Olivia is Brock and Holly. Um, and then of course I actually really have always liked Dawn and Paul, and that is a hot topic.
Yeah,
That's like either you
yeah,
love it or you hate it.
that's like a really I've seen Paul's 2 biggest ships is either Don and Paul or like
Ash and Paul.
Ash and
I
Paul.
love that. I love Ash
To
and
me,
Paul too.
it's almost like the same thing with like Deku and Bakugo and Uraraka. I don't know why these two.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why these ships exist. I don't get the appeal, but they exist for whatever reason.
Yeah, it's like it's all personal preference. And I'd say, yeah, I mean, and part of that is again like it's like you have that Diamond and Pearl era of like shipping where it's like the main three where it was Ash and Misty, May and Drew, and Dawn and Paul. And I think it just had a lot of clout because it was just like people kind of like got into that formula maybe where it's like maybe they didn't think about it that but it's like well because Ash is with Misty it's like then these two have and but I mean I like Dawn and Paul beyond all of that like it started out with that like because I guess I hadn't seen that like they didn't have much interaction yet from like when I came in because I came in later, but then it's like they had some moments during the Sinnoh League and which I liked and um again just personal preference. It's kind of like the just the opposites attract sort of thing. That's like my opposites attract shit, you know. Aside from Dawn and Paul, I'm always gonna be a sucker for rocket shipping for Jesse and James.
Yeah, I already figured that one.
Yeah. That was probably, I'd say actually that was my first ship. Like, like definitely like Ash and Misty, and then like Jesse and Shane.
So I know,
Again,
I'm pretty sure we're past 5 at this point, but yeah.
oh, oops.
It's fine. I knew how this was gonna go, Polly. I already knew what I was getting. I knew this was gonna happen. I almost feel like this could be a part 2 kind of video.
I know there. I mean, there could be. I mean, even with Sun and Moon now, like now there's like so many good ones. For example, like Malo and Lily. It's like they had that whole like Uchina. Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah, you're talking about the princess.
Yeah, like they had that whole like a lot of people ship that. And then that kind of goes into like the more like it's like the Yaoi Yuri ships which like I have those ships too. Like for example, I also like childhood friend tropes, so I do ship Ash and Gary and but it's like it's just casual like but I'd say just the top 2 for me are definitely because Butch and Cassidy and Silent Burgundy are just more of my favorite characters. So naturally, I like their dynamic. I feel like I there should be a drinking game for the amount of times I've said the word dynamic in this video.
It can't be because I don't drink and you're trying to kill me. I can't.
Good for you for not drinking.
I love how that was.
I need to drown my sorrows living vicariously through
I like the phrasing right there. You were like, good for you for not drinking. And I was like, well, does Polly drink? I think we know the answer. Somebody take her to an AA meeting. Holy shit. No, I'm playing. I can't make those kind of assumptions. Those are bad. Anywho, advice for the young shippers, if any. We can wrap this up.
Advice is just kind of you do you. Like don't be afraid to like I used to be afraid to say that I like certain ships just because I was like, oh, like I know this person's not really that into it. But it's like, you know what? Just you shouldn't care. I say as long as it's not something that's, like inappropriate, like then there's the whole deal of like, people shipping characters that have way too wide of an age gap.
Just remember, kids, we're talking about being yourself and don't do anything inappropriate like shipping 10-year-olds with other 10-year-olds because that's not weird at all.
Well, in that case, I mean, my thing is that I ignore that whole thing.
I know you do.
And I age up. Like, it's more that I imagine, like, these characters getting older and then eventually, like, finding themselves in a romantic relationship.
So
what I mean?
They've been dating for 8 years and now they're like, they're indulging into some things. And Ash is asking, and Misty's asking questions you would never think Misty would ask Ash, and it's like,
Yeah. Well, maybe that's why I also like my top two ships. It's actually that I see Silent and Burgundy a little bit older. Cassie, I see like in their 20s, honestly.
well, yeah, they're obviously like Jesse and James and Butch and Cassidy are like
I see them in
probably,
their like mid to late 20s.
yeah.
So,
So those are, I mean, those are understandable. I'm not against that whole thing. I'm just
yeah.
but the point, anyways, the point is, do you and be
Yeah,
happy.
you do you. And I'd say also this is something that I've seen a lot. Just I get it. This society, like today's day and age, like it is important for like representation, whether it's LGBT or people of color, what have you. But I'd say also just, just don't get on too much on people for what they like. Like I've seen people just like tear others apart over. Especially, I've seen this like I hate to like bring up My Hero Academia,
No, you
like
don't. Don't lie to me. Don't pretend
fandom, but
like,
like,
don't pretend like you don't care. We already know how this is gonna
all
go.
right, I just seen so many like things where it's like, oh, like everyone, like if you don't ship Momo and Jiro, Kirishima and Bakugo, and Todoroki and Deku, it's like you're automatically like a homophobe. Like if you liked, like for example, like I like Todoroki and Momo, like I thought they had some cute moments. Am I like hugely into it? Not really. I just think it's cute. But it's like all of a sudden, it's like, am I not allowed to talk about it because it's like the typical straight ship? You know what I mean? So I'd say just my advice is just you do you, and representation is good, but don't make it into this huge thing and like don't fight with others. Like just you like what you like and just don't, you can't judge others for shipping what they like. I don't know if that,
Yeah, that works.
I don't know if that got like political or whatever. It's just like
No.
something I've seen a lot. And it's just kind of like, life is just too short to really get into arguments
We're talking
over
about fucking
shipping.
cartoons. Jesus
I know.
Christ.
And I guess maybe it's like, I'd say, yeah, this, like, I am targeting younger
You're
people
targeting
just
who?
because it's like when you get older, it's like this stuff isn't gonna matter. It's like,
No.
yeah, like what I as of this point, I do it all for fun. Like it's just a fun escape for me to think about these characters, occasionally write about them or write headcanons for them, but it's not something that I am going to personally get too invested in because I kind of have my own life, my job, and my own stuff to deal with, my own relationships and my own friendships and my family. So I'd say just kind of like just chill.
Always have fun,
Yeah.
kids. No matter
Yeah,
what you
just
do,
do it for fun.
try to enjoy yourself. And with that, I'm not saying there won't be a part two. Just for the sake of how long people will care about listening to a shipping conversation. Also because life is life, and as adults, we don't necessarily have all the free time in the world. First off, I would appreciate
Yes.
you, Polly, for even coming on here. For one, because just having the conversation with me, because not everybody wants to expose their quirks and their interests online like that. That's why a lot of some of the shipping fandom, they'll post shit online, but they don't want their name or face or any of that kind of stuff to be revealed because people don't like that kind of attention. It's like, oh, you share what with who? Oh, you're into role playing? Like some people don't want to hear. Some people don't want that kind of attention. So I
Yeah.
appreciate you even bothering to indulge this much with me.
I don't know.
I mean,
It's not something that I mind that much. Like I'm sure. Well, also I've had the same username for, so it's kind of like if you looked me up, most likely you're gonna see like my cringy. But maybe I should like change my name or something so that my fanfics from 2009 aren't closed. But anyway.
That shit caught me. I was like, it's like, be proud, do you. Be proud of who you are. Maybe
Yeah.
I should change my Twitter username.
Or the amount of Kiribaku smut pics that I've saved.
Hey, listen,
Anyway.
whoa, Jesus Christ. Polly,
Maybe you should cut that part out.
listen. Polly, I don't care what you say. I'm just saying you were being wild and reckless tonight. What's going on? I feel like as soon as this video is over, she's going to send me a bunch of links to shit that I had
Oh my gosh.
I was not emotionally prepared to watch. And it's like, but look at this. Look how cute this is. Look at them, they're kissing. And it's like, I need an adult. You are an adult. I need another adult. It's besides the point. Anywho, I appreciate, anyways, regardless of the insanity, which obviously in the name of my channel, Insane Game Freak, you're used to this kind of shit. Fuck, I lost my train of thought completely. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Polly, for being here. Her Twitter will be in there. So if you are a type who indulges in this shit, regardless if it's low tier or high tier, she probably has something for you on the goddamn page, especially if you're into poke shipping. My God. And just prepare yourself. There's a lot of headcanon going around.
Yeah.
And she, especially Valentine's Day, is Brock invaded some timelines for a little bit. Not a lot, yes, but for a little bit. I was like, oh, she's gone. She's gone with the wind.
That was, I think, the best edit I've ever made.
So if you guys want more, please like the video, subscribe if you want to, click the post notification bell. Like, people are gonna watch this run the video. I don't fucking know.
I think they should.
They should, but they're not gonna hear you say this if they don't watch the rest of the goddamn video. Life is hard like this. Thank you guys for the support. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it, and I appreciate everyone for putting up with my shit. Thanks. And this has been the Insane Game Freak. Life's a game, play to win, and I will catch you guys later. Peace. Oh, there's a swirl in my O today. I don't know what the swirl is from, though, but it's a stamp of approval. Also, happy Valentine's Day, late edition. Late edition. Peace.
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Oh my goodness. This is gold.
I know.